దాజీ, మీరు ఆధ్యాత్మిక మార్గదర్శి కాకముందు భౌతిక జీవితంలో చాలా విజయాలు సాధించారు. మరి ఈ భౌతిక, ఆధ్యాత్మిక జీవితాలు రెండింటి మధ్య మీరు సమతుల్యం ఎలా సాధించారు?
I often get asked this question, and each time my answers comes up very different. Anyway, the idea in our heartfulness way of meditation that we need to balance spiritual and material life. Balancing does not mean spending time equally. And also balancing does not mean that when you make $100,000, how much spiritual wealth are you going to balance it with? You can never balance both that way because you cannot quantify spiritual wealth. Years of my struggle in trying to understand this very fundamental thing, that how to balance and fly like a bird with two wings, equally supportive. I see it's a futile exercise. And when we try to percolate this, allow this meditative state to percolate in our day-to-day activities, that is the beginning of integration of spiritual life and material life. And while integration, what I mean is you are not differentiating. Whatsoever you do, it's spiritual dancing. I used to dispense medications in my drugstores. Not only dispensing medications to patients, but then it used to involve, since I was also the owner of drugstores in New York City, buying, purchasing, recruiting help, advertisement, contacting physicians, hospitals, you name it. There's a multi-pronged approach to the whole thing. And pharmacies in the United States often also carried groceries, milk products. So it was a multi-pronged thing. And while you are doing all these things, a sublime undercurrent of meditative state was always there. And to me, I found it very exhilarating. Often where people find that more they work, more they get tired. My case was different. By the evening came, I became fresh like a flower. Only because of this integrating spiritual life into my worldly activities, you see. And when you go home, it's like, you visited a park or you went for some joyride and coming back home. So this effect of work, the impressions that we gather during the working hours became almost negligible. So as soon as you enter home and you go into your basement, wash your face and take a shower if needed, and do the cleaning. Cleaning was just 10-15 minutes affair for me. See, it was very intense at the same time. The impressions that we gather by such a lifestyle, I think they are so minimal. At the same time, they don't trouble you as much. Does that mean that you don't fight during your business hours? You don't argue with your... Because we have problems. I mean, when a patient comes, oh, my insurance does not pay for this. How am I going to get cured? And they start fighting with you. Sometimes they start cursing you. They label you all kinds of stuff. But when you listen to them carefully, patiently, and explain to them with the centering in your heart and say, okay, Master, help me convince this patient. Make her feel comfortable. You see, most of the patients, I got them where ladies are always argumentative. Why not this? Why I want this medicine only? You cannot change my medicine. And we had to explain to them very softly, gently. And this exercise made me stronger from inside. Often it's not that you don't lose your temper. Sometimes I did. But then it was easier for me to retract. I could easily retract back and change my tone. And that helped. And as a result, Patients also, they feel confident. You see that, oh wow, this pharmacist is good. It's worth chatting, worth discussing. So most of my hours, many elderly patients who came, they used to hang around almost every single day. I mean, who would visit your drugstore every single day and spend half hour chit-chatting? I mean, sometimes it used to be say, oh, Mr. So-and-so, it's enough today, you come back tomorrow. Oh, I have nobody at home, how will I? So then we give him a sandwich or something and he's happy. See? So this is a lifestyle. I mean, we lead a life of compassion, of love, true to its name, heartfulness, you see. Interacting with the world with your heart. Even the strangers, I mean, why are we differentiating strangers and recognizing amid strangers? Babuji did not like this word non-abhyasis, means those who are not practicing. He would say, remove this idea that they are not abhyasis. So that's a great beginning, see, considering that all are my sisters and brothers. That's a beginning. And when I myself am meditating, and immediately if I think that somebody is other than myself, or they have different interests in life, of course we all have different interests. My son has different interests, my wife has different interests. Strangers are bound to have different interests, but we all have one common thing, humanity, and we are part of the same universe. We are all traveling towards our destination, knowingly or unknowingly. Some, they travel with full consciousness, full awareness. Some of us are not even aware that we are traveling, though we are meditating, see. But the journey is so slow, you don't see the difference of travel. So, moment we accelerate our involvement with the system of practice, let me repeat again. Moment we intensify and accelerate our practice, then the journey also will speed up and you'll be able to see different vistas of your own spiritual state. So, intensify. Intensify does not mean to me that from 5 minutes to 60 minutes. No. Try to do something that you could have done in 60 minutes, now in 1 minute. Right? So that is intensity. How to create emotional intensity while remaining connected with the source. So each one of us has to find our own answer. No master can tell us what to do because we all have different baggage. If master speaks about something, it may be applicable to one person or to himself. But to speak in general will be wrong. So you have to figure out the reasons why you meditate, how you're going to extend the meditative state during day-to-day hours, and how are we going to intensify these spiritual states, how I'm going to accelerate the whole process. This we have to reflect, we have to introspect and come to our own conclusions and make a resolve that henceforth I shall commit myself in this direction.